Bardzo serdecznie witamy na 7. podcaście Grupy Przemysłowej PJP Makrum S.A. Dzisiejszy podcast dotyczy również grupy PROMStahl. Ten odcinek na tą chwilę zamyka ten wątek spotkań. Dzisiaj Wielka Brytania. Przy mikrofonie Piotr Szczeblewski i Dariusz Szczechowski.
Dzień dobry.
Dla lepszej komunikacji przechodzimy na angielski. Let's get started. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the podcast about PROMStahl activity in the UK market. I would like to welcome the managing directors of PROMStahl UK, Mr. Paula Harrison and Mr. Toma Langley, directly from England.
Hello.
And Mr. Shawna Westgate'a, PROMStahl Export from our office in Bydgoszcz.
Hello.
This is the next podcast about PROMStahl. Therefore, the first question will be shown to you. How did PROMStahl establish itself in the UK market?
A nice question. So it was by the help of our German colleagues, PROMStahl GmbH. They took our brand to market, targeting the trade, and they did a very good job at building brand recognition, using our benefits to our advantage. So we take advantage of being quite flexible in terms of how we produce our levelers, non-standard. So we are able to change our products to suit our clients' needs, and that's perfect for the trade. And that's how we established our brand recognition and also trust in the market, that our products are reliable and we offer good service.
Okay, what barriers were there, and what was our approach to overcoming them?
I would say the biggest barrier was the distance. Obviously the UK is close, but not too close. So being able to service equipment, being able to deliver parts quickly, being involved in bigger projects, this was the biggest barrier. But servicing the trade obviously brought us to a level where we was quite comfortable sales-wise.
Okay, since June the situation has changed, and we are established a company in England, PROMStahl UK, and our listeners will be interested to answering in the few questions for sure. That's why the next question is shown to you, but also to you, Paul and Tom. And what is the biggest opportunity the UK office presents?
I think, as I mentioned previously, the distance was the biggest hindrance, and now we've got Paul and Tom with their experience, knowledge of the market, and being in the market is the best opportunity for us to grow in areas where before we couldn't. I'm sure Paul and Tom will have something to add to that.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, but obviously being in the UK, we can service customers a lot better, whether that be trade, but also moving into the direct market with the supply and installation side of things as well. So that's the big opportunity for us, most definitely.
Okay, Tom, do you want to add something?
Yes, sure. Yeah, I think also, even looking after our existing trade partners, we can obviously support them. Being sort of more local, we can give them better support, and also we're looking to grow that side as well. With contacts we've got in the industry, but also just by being based locally, I think people are also feel more comfortable probably dealing with us being based in the UK.
Well, what we think, Tom, is a great advantage for you is your experience and your knowledge of the clients, yes, of the general contractors. This is the thing we hope that will have the great influence on our future and the prospects of the development for UK brand.
That's why will be probably the next question to you. Please tell us about yourself, of your experience in the industry.
Well, for myself, I've been in the industry over 30 years. 27 years of that I've been with the Herman Group. Started with Dynasteel in 1993. Herman actually bought them in 2002. So quite a long time in the loading bay and industrial door market. With my last role with Herman was as projects director. I ran the projects office, where I looked after the trade sales, the estimating, and the project and installation coordinators. and also looked after the bigger projects with our sort of main clients.
Great. And you?
Yeah, myself, I've like Tom with the Herman Group for over 18 years. Joined 2001, and by 2003 I was working in the industrial sector. Worked as a service manager, obviously dealing with a lot of the loading bay service customers, and then moved into a sales role over my time there at Herman, and I looked after a lot of the major clients, the contractors. Also over my time I looked after the trade as well. Yeah, so on the sales role. So what would kind of happen would be, from a sales perspective, would be to sell a project, sell a contract, and obviously with a contractor, and that effectively would be passed over to Tom, who would then project manage it and deliver it for the contractor, and install it and see it all the way through, and then ultimately it'd get handed over to the service team to look after it. So yeah, vast experience, obviously, myself and Tom within the industry. So yeah, certainly looking forward to this challenge. It's certainly different.
Okay. And okay, the really great experience in this industry. And what was it? What attracted you to PROMStahl?
Myself, obviously, I came over, as you're aware, to meet you, Piotr, a couple of years ago now. I think the flexibility and the quality of the product and the people as well. I got a great welcome the first time I came over, and to see the setup that you got over there, and your plans for the future of the UK and what you've effectively done with the German office. Yeah, that really struck me. So yeah, ultimately a no-brainer for me. With having the people, or knowing that the people at the back of us were going to support and give us that support moving forward. So that was certainly a big advantage.
Okay, and now is a lot of changing, and how has the market received you now that you are local?
Very well. I think, to be honest, well, the biggest surprise for me is how well known PROMStahl is in the UK already. So you've been trading in the UK since 2011. And to be honest, from the trade partner side, from the fitter side, from the service side, everybody knows PROMStahl. The area that we've got to promote PROMStahl is to the contractor side of the business, because that's where it's less known. But at the moment, it's all very positive. Everybody we speak to is very positive. Even when we're talking to developers, we're talking to customers that are probably European or global. They've come across PROMStahl in another country. So again, it's all very positive from our experience so far in the last 6 months.
Okay, the next question will be a little bit similar. Can you tell us how the work that is done from the UK office differs from what we are doing from head office here in Bydgoszcz, or even from our German office?
Well, I don't think it's too dissimilar, because ultimately, after our time when we visited the German office, that's obviously certainly something for us to aim for, how they're operating their business. So yeah, they're dealing direct with the contractor and doing the supply and installation work, which obviously is the area that we're pushing into and looking to develop, but obviously also dealing with their trade and supplying to their trade customers. Mm-hmm. Where it differs slightly is obviously we're very much UK focused, and obviously the German office and the office in Poland are dealing with other countries. So that's something that obviously we probably won't be getting into. Maybe Ireland going forward. Obviously, we're speaking to Sean over the past few days. That's a possibility. But certainly the trade and the contracting business is certainly something that we'll be following the German office with, and ultimately the service side as well. You know, there's a lot of growth for the service side of the business. We've noticed that with just stocking parts here in the UK. They've started to move off the shelf. And ultimately moving into the end user work with the service teams and developing the service side. The profit margins there within the service can be high compared to supply of product. So that's something that we're looking to develop. And again, looking at the German office and the way that they've got their service teams and their service side set up, that's very positive and something for us to be positive about here in the UK.
Okay, and if we look on the situation a little bit more general, there is currently a lot of talk about Brexit, with no one the wiser as to how current negotiation will end. Can you tell us about the risk and opportunity Brexit presents? Is the UK office prepared, and how do you think the coming years will be impacted by it?
It's a very difficult question to answer. I think it seems to be changing daily. I don't know really. I think we'll probably end up with a deal last minute by the sound of things. But yes, I mean, the general feeling in the industry at the moment is January is going to be very difficult. I think everybody expects a lot of delays at the ports, whilst everybody gets used to the changes and the paperwork side of it. We've been talking to our transport provider and sort of he's advised us really what documentations we need, so we're busy preparing ourselves to make sure we've got all that in place. Possibly there will be tariffs, but again, nobody really knows at this point, which is quite strange when we're only a matter of weeks away. But it's going to be, it will be a challenge, I think, more than perhaps an opportunity. But I think we'll just take it on board and just deal with it as and when it happens.
Tom, just a second. Tom, what do you think? Our clients, did they suspend their decision concerning final situation with Brexit, decision of investments, of having the supplies? Do you feel that it is like that, or they are now on the run?
I personally think I think people have sort of tried to get the buildings constructed before Brexit, knowing that possibly there's going to be changes next year. Obviously, with Brexit's been going on a long time, so people have initially put things on hold, and then things got back to normal. And I think I don't know. It seems to be still very busy in the UK market. It doesn't seem to be affecting the UK market, to be honest, from what we see. It's bad for next year. So, I mean, just going on something that I've read recently. The logistics sector in the UK this year is at the highest ever record, taken with 46.8 million square feet of warehouse space. So that would suggest that things are not slowing down. I mean, Savills, obviously one of the world leading property agents, along with Property Week, who are a leading news magazine in the commercial property market, they've recently done a census, and the industrial and logistics sector, 25% of people say that there's no change to their business, and 28% say, with what's been going on with Brexit and COVID, is actually had a positive impact on their business. So it's strange that things that are reported as negative can actually have a positive impact on people.
We can say the similar situation is the whole Europe because of e-commerce, the logistics center growing, and the business what we see also in the Europe, especially France, Germany, Poland also. The numbers of orders in the last 2 months is also growing really fast.
In Polish we say, nie ma tego złego, co by na dobre nie wyszło.
But now that should be translated.
Okay, so in Polish we say that even there is something wrong in this business, in this issue, it might have a good result finally.
Yes, quite. Yeah. I mean, this census goes on. There's lots of stats in there, but a couple of headline figures really. 41% of occupiers still anticipate requiring more logistics space over the next 2 years. So they're positive figures, and hopefully, we can ride on the back of that.
Yeah, true. That's why maybe another hot topic is COVID-19 and how it's affecting everyday life. Was there concern about the starting the office in the middle of the year, and how did this affect your startup?
Well, it affected it slightly, yes. Initially, we delayed, obviously, the startup with agreement with yourself that we delayed it by a month. We were literally about to leave our previous employer as the UK went into full lockdown. So it didn't seem the right time, but we delayed it. The general thought was that we would have to work several months before we could be released from our previous employer, and we thought that during that time COVID would probably be sort of disappearing. But here we are, 8-9 months later, and obviously we're still dealing with it. But obviously with the vaccine, hopefully into the new year, things will start to get back to some sort of normality. Mm-hmm. What I would say is from COVID, I think there are some positives, again, that has come out of it, is that from a business point of view, we've all learned that we don't need to travel hundreds of miles to have a meeting. You know, with virtual meetings now, it's become the norm. And also, we've discovered that people can quite effectively work from home. They don't need to all be sat in an office, so maybe that will change office sizes in the future. So I think it's made us all realise that there is a different way of living, a different way of working. So
but this is completely true. Because the both of them, the Brexit and COVID-19, the situation impacted all of the companies, our competitors also. Yes, we are not alone. That's why it's
given us time to set up as well, because obviously things were slow. Obviously, when we started, it's always going to be slow with a new business anyway. But obviously, with construction only really getting back to normal when we started the business, there certainly weren't an abundance of new sites and new business being thrown out there. So it gave us a chance to put all the processes in place that we needed to put in within the UK. Obviously, to get started and to kind of slowly ramp ourselves up to be ready to take on those tenders and take on the work ultimately that we want to go into. So yeah, it was tough, and you know, people were asking a lot of questions. Is it the right time, etc. But when is the right time? We can all make excuses not to do something. You know, sometimes you have to be positive, look to the future with obviously the backing of you guys and the positivity that you've given us. Yeah, it was a no-brainer to push forward with it.
We had a similar thoughts, because for us it was always a question if this is the right time to start this activity in the middle of this year with the COVID around. Yeah, but finally we see that it works. It is the most important.
Absolutely.
And now will be the last question, quite general. What is the future for PROMStahl Ltd?
I'd say the future is very promising. Judging by the last 6 months, I think the next 6 months, I think we'll see the success that really, you know, the hard work that we put in for the last 6 months. We've spent a lot of time talking to end users, talking to developers, architects, contractors, suppliers, and our trade partners, really just to spread the word, to make sure everybody knows who we are, and when they hear of PROMStahl, they know they can put the connection together. For the UK office, the plan is we had initially about a 3-year plan to build on a steady steady progression, to put a strong business structure in place, and we see that sort of happening quite naturally with the building the trade partners, sort of picking up the contractor business, and putting a structure in place really to support that as we grow. The first thing we probably need is a technician to support. So once we sell the product and we sell it with installation, we've then got to maintain it and look after it. So it's as that happens, you know, it's putting the right people in the right place as we grow.
Exactly.
That's natural progression, as Tom said, with the technician. That'll only increase as more product that we sell and install. Ultimately, on the back of that comes the end user, who's obviously taking the building. So that service work comes as a matter of course of the installation work that we do. So that's a natural progression and obviously a part of the business plan. So rather than go out there and just look for general service work, servicing every man and his dog's equipment, which everybody can do, it's we've got to concentrate on our own work and back up our own product before we start going else.
Okay, our point of view, everything should have the time, yes, but we are starting, that was really great job, was to find the good connection with the contractors, our dealers, and to start it with the first inquiry and so on and so on, and that's really looks really good. And Dariusz, I will say thank you very much for your interesting answers. That will be all for today. We are recording the podcast in December 2020, so we wish you and our listeners Merry Christmas and Happy New Year 2021, and I wish you and us that we meet our expectation to PROMStahl UK. Thanks a lot for today.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
So, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from all of us. Yeah. Have a nice day.
Bardzo dziękujemy wszystkim za wysłuchanie tego podcastu i jak zawsze prosimy o lajkowanie i subskrypcję. Pozdrawiamy i do usłyszenia już w przyszłym roku. Do usłyszenia.